guys, it's me Charlie, and I'm here to share my journey to Infinite this season, my climb to Infinite this season. Suddenly the word climb was lost on me. Right, it was a day 3 Infinite. I'm not saying that I'm the best in the game or anything. Okay, I entered at around 1300-ish, I believe. Right, so I'm just sharing my journey, my climb. And for those who have yet to hit Infinite, you might want to draw some inspiration, or if you're just looking for some inspiration, hopefully this video brings to you something new. Alright. Now I'll be sharing my climb from 93-ish up to Infinite, because I think honestly you can get past 70-80s with any deck as long as you play you play reasonably okay. Right, 70s, there are bots there, so you will get past, you'll move into 80, and the 80s are not that difficult. Now I actually used quite a few decks during my final hurdle from 90, 93 to 100. The first deck that I actually used was bounce move bounce. Alright, so this is the deck. All the decks, the deck list will be in the description. Right, this deck is first of all, I have to say none of the decks are actually original or anything. Right, I'm just piloting them, I'm just playing with them. Okay, and this move deck basically involves moving your cards and then bouncing back on hand. Okay, and the reason is because, well, you prevent your big human torch, your big vulture from being shanked, from being shadow king, or from being killed monger. Right, and that's the key idea. You make your stuff big, you make your human torch, your vulture big, and then you protect them by bouncing them back. Yeah, of course Dagger as well. Dagger can become big as well. Right, and an additional touch is you have Frigga to make to copy those things. Right, so imagine having a 1/8 human torch and then you copy it, and then now you have two 1/8 human torch. And basically 1/8 alone is really pretty insane, but imagine you're able to move those two human torch again. You're going to have two 1/16s, right? You're going to have two 16 power things, so that's just huge. Right, so this is the deck that I played to, I think that it got me to around 95, 96 ish. Right, and after that I played a fair bit of Surtur Sauron. Right, and I have to say that this deck is not as strong as it was previously, but it is still very, very strong. Initially I took out Lizard for armor, but I changed it back because this deck, you are able to apply big boys, you are able to put shankable cards across 3 lanes. So yeah, I mean, sure, shank 1 lane, I still have the other 2 lanes. Okay, and honestly I think this is a very, very good deck to have. Okay, I strongly encourage all free-to-play players to get it. Okay, the key cards are obviously, in terms of series 5 cards, you have to have Surtur and Starbrand. Ares is not that important. Ares you can put in you can put in something like you can put in Crossbones or Cloud Obsidian depending on your availability. Right, it's not difficult to trigger Crossbones with this deck. You just need to be a little bit more careful. You just need to plan ahead a little bit more if you're playing Crossbones. Right, but the reason why I think this deck is so good and a must-have for free-to-play players is because it's a very, very straightforward deck to pilot. Oh, Skaar is also series 5, I think, or series 4. Right, okay. So the reason why I think it's so important is because this deck is very straightforward to pilot, and while we climb to Infinite, sometimes it can be a journey. It can be quite a long journey sometimes. Right, so sometimes you get tired. I mean, if you're trying to pilot this move deck, okay, there's a lot of thought process involved, right, where you move the cards and then when you bounce it back, things like that. right? So it's pretty draining mentally, right? Whereas a Surtur Sauron deck is very straightforward. You get Sauron on 2, you're likely to win the game. Alright, and you when if you have all your big boys down, you have Sauron, you have your big boys, you win the game. It's as simple as that. So it's a very straightforward deck to pilot, which means when you're low on energy, when you're feeling frustrated, this is the deck. This is the deck that can help you climb. This is the deck that can help you, you know, gains cubes very steadily and very easily. You know, it's a kind of like a no-brainer kind of deck, right? Which which I believe is a deck all of us should have during our climb to infinite, because it's I know that you see streamers, you know, racing to day 1 infinite, but for most people the climb to infinite is not so smooth, not so fast, right? So you really need to be able to tough it out, and sometimes you just need a deck that can help you climb, right, while not stressing you out, and this is the deck. In terms of strength, I think it's still a very solid deck. It's still a very solid deck when you're able to play Sauron on 2 and you have your draws. Okay, obviously after the change to Surtur, after the change to Skaar, you do not get a free Skaar anymore, right? But I do believe it's still a very solid deck. Okay, I know my previous review of it has been it's no longer that good, it's no longer it's trash and things like that, but I think I've been overly harsh. Okay, I don't regret getting Surtur and Starbrand. I don't regret getting these two, even though I have to pull 8 packs just to get Starbrand. The other deck that I actually used was, this was the deck that I actually used. This deck was featured on Alex Kosh's latest top 10 deck, coming in at 10th. I honestly took a look at this and I felt that it wasn't going to be that good. I felt that it wasn't going to be that strong. I thought that it was just good because of the hot location, you know, the one that gives created cards +2, right? Because you are generating a lot of, you're creating a lot of cards with your Maria here, your Snow Guard, your Kate Bishop, Valentina, and Agent Coulson, right? So when I was feeling a little bit bored and looking for something different to play, I was feeling a little bit bored after, you know, climbing a bit with Surtur, right? I saw Alex Kosh's video, so I decided to try this deck, right? I mean, it features speed, and yeah, since I opened packs and got speed, so yeah, why not, you know? And it actually surprised me. This deck actually surprised me. I actually went 4-0 and picked up 7 cubes. I know it's a small sample size and I know it's only 7 cubes, though I could have gotten more if I snap aggressively, right? But this deck seems to be better than I thought, right? And this deck actually packs quite a punch, right? I've even tried it out in Silver Conquest, and I think I got a gold ticket off it. I think I got a gold ticket off it. Let me just check. Yeah, right. I actually got a gold ticket off it, right? So this deck is pretty interesting, pretty fun, and it can come off, and you can pull off certain surprise, right? Moonstone into speed, Moonstone into Victoria Hand, getting a sudden boost, things like that. It's pretty fun, right? I don't really propose Moonstone into Queen Chat because most of the time that's overkill, and definitely overkill if you have written out. The final deck, the deck that got me past, that got me into infinite from I think high 98 to infinite is, yeah, some people are going to hate me for it, but of course, Steady Boost Ice Taken. Some people run Anim Zola, but I realized that, you know, the Frigga version is a lot more is less taxing than less energy taxing than running Anim Zola, right? So I do believe that this is really the best variation. Okay, and Gambit, I just like running Gambit. Gambit sometimes hits a critical card for them. Okay, and So I mean, sometimes when you know you are behind and things are looking bad, Gambit can be the card to, I mean, if you get lucky, Gambit can really be the card to turn things around for you, right? Sometimes you can't get your swarm down to 0, alright, because you have Skaar on hand, and right, your Calling Wind doesn't hit swarm. Okay, so you're wondering, oh man, how can I trigger my boost eye? How can I make collector go big? How can I, you know, discard? How can I get additional triggers on Mobius? And the answer is really Gambit, right? So yeah, I use this to go from high 98 to infinity, right? To reaching infinite, right? So these are the decks that I've actually run during my final hurdle from 90 to 100. I've also tried to play some Agamotto RAM, but I haven't been very successful. I've also played this when I'm in the 90s, but not a very good deck, frankly. Yeah, Agamotto is fun, right? It's very fun when you know you pull off your winds, you pull off your bows, and then you start slapping everything down. But all in all, I think I'm flat in terms of win rate and cube rate for Agamotto RAM. Alright, or maybe I'm just slightly positive, maybe one cube, 2 cubes, but I haven't had much success with Agamotto in terms of climbing. Right, probably better in Airsham Shell, I don't know man, but I don't feel like playing Airsham. Yeah, so I didn't really, I wouldn't say Agamotto featured during my climb. Alright, at least not in the final hurdle. I did play a Agamotto value deck in the early 80s, I think. I went positive, but even then it didn't feel very good. Yeah, it's in one of the videos. Yeah. So all in all, I used 4 decks for the final hurdle. That's a little bit interesting, because most of the time I try to, you know, finish the final hurdle with just one deck. But yeah, that's it for me for this season. Right, so for you guys who are there in Infinite already, well, good job. It's time for us to, you know, goof around, screw around, and just have fun. For those who have yet to hit Infinite, all the best, good luck, see you there.